So which parts of the car have had the most involvement from the community?
Well, I'd say the body components are certainly those that have the most involvement because it's the most defining feature of the car, and there's a lot of opinion on how it should look and how it should be manufactured. So again, we have the transportation designers, the engineers, and the enthusiasts all collaborating live on the site to decide which direction the car should head. And in the case of the Rally Fighter, that was a student-submitted design from Sang-Ho Kim, a student at Art Center College of Design in Pasadena.
So Mike, I just want to really emphasize this point because I was blown away when you told me this. That, you know, sure, I could imagine open source helping in the design of the car, you know, and maybe doing some of the components you're going to talk about. But the actual overall design concept for the Rally Fighter, the sketches like the ones you see here, I don't know if that's actually by him, but these kind of sketches came from an open source contribution from a student. As Mike said, a student penned the car concept, right, and now 2 years later gets to see that car driving down the road. You know, I just think that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I think the world has changed in some fundamental way when a student can draw a shape of a car and 2 years later see it on the road. I just think that's profound and interesting, and we've got to think about what that means for our own processes.
Right, and anyone can upload a design of any level of finish, and again, you have 9,500 to date users on the site, so you've got all of these people that are professionally trained in, again, design, engineering, so on and so forth, to be able to critique your design. And of course, the customer can say, I'd buy it or I wouldn't. So for a young guy like Sang-Ho Kim to be at school and to post a design that was on his profile and get all this critique and then eventually have Local Motors build it because the community has said, hey, Local Motors, you guys need to build this car. It's pretty cool.
And you had some competitions, right? We're also part of the...
Right. We also have involvement with components for the vehicle, such as the side vent, and the interior also came from a competition. We've actually even given away seats of SolidWorks as prizes for the competitions, again, to build that engineering base. So we get feedback and input from all aspects of the car.
And how do you take the car design and from a concept design to reality, to manufacturing?
Well, the Class A body surfaces, again, are developed in Alias and CATIA. The chassis and suspension components are in SolidWorks. And again, as I mentioned, we try to use existing components wherever possible, wherever they fit on the design, and we can get them in the right numbers at the right cost. A couple of examples of that would be headlights and taillights. Rather than developing our own, which could be, you know, several $1 million to do to develop all the molds and everything, we actually use kind of again, a neat process of combining the surface data and our printer. So what you can see here is that the image on your left is a mold that I printed on our 3D printer in a number of different sections, and then we taped over it so that the fiberglass that we laid on top of it, which is the middle image, could be released from the mold. And then once we released that from the mold and trimmed it down along the edges, we actually took that piece to a mall parking lot and went and kind of set it over a number of different cars to see how our shape worked with existing designs out there. So you can imagine at Christmas time in the mall, you know, going out and holding a piece of fiberglass up to someone's car. Some people were kind of like, "Why? What are you doing?" But you know, we weren't touching it actually to the car. But it turned out that the Honda Accord Coupe actually fit the design really, really closely. So then we went back and made a couple of changes to the surfaces. We ended up not using it because we wanted to maintain the P51 Warbird inspiration of the car. So we actually went a different direction. But it's kind of a neat process that we used to get to that point.
Yeah, and I think I've met a lot of customers, but that's the first time I've heard of matching up cars in the mall parking lot as a design technique.
No car is safe.
You know, yeah, no, you know, that's pretty interesting. But it shows you seriously that Local Motors is a collection of an amazing variety of tactics and processes to get the parts made, all with the goal of making a cool product really fast. And it sounds like you'll just use whatever technique works best.
Right.
And that's a really, you know, really powerful story there. And, how much of the CAD data is really available for download on your website?
It's all available on the website, all of the components that we designed. So again, the body, the chassis, suspension, some of the other components are all available on the website, as well as some of the OEM and aftermarket components, again, that we've either received from the manufacturer direct or through SEMA Tech Transfer.
So anyone can go to the site and download real original CAD files. So those aren't dumbed down or defeatured files,
it's
right?
the SolidWorks file, and we also have IGES format as well for those kind of other guys that maybe are using a different package.
Few other people in the world, maybe. That's, again, just really cool, and it's really easy to do. You can go try it. But wouldn't you be worried about competition? When I saw this, I thought, are they worried that their competitors are going to take those CAD files and do something with them?
Well, we don't really have a concern with that, because the speed to innovation and the speed to market is one of the safeguards that we have, because to replicate what we've done is a major undertaking, so we'll always be a few steps ahead. But we fully expect that the data will be downloaded. We want it to be downloaded. We want our customers to take the data, download it, and modify things for a light rack, for bumpers, things like that, so that their car is more usable for their application. Then upload their story and what they've done. Maybe they've done it themselves. Maybe it was a fabrication shop that did the work for them. Load that onto the website so that the other people that are like you out there can take that data and make it usable. And then from there, what we could do is we could offer that either as optional equipment or maybe standard equipment from there on if we see that a lot of people are using it.
And so I have to ask, are you personally going to buy a rally fighter?
Definitely, but I'm sure like a lot of people in the audience today, I have a long list of projects that I'm working on in various different stages, so it's next on the list. As soon as I get those done, I definitely will.
But anyone in the audience who wants to get their name on the list, reserve a spot on the build list, how much is that deposit?
Right, the list, as you saw on the presentation, the video that we had, will only build 2,000. Currently, we have about 135 deposits down. It's just under $1,000 to reserve your spot.
There you go. Maybe you've sold a few right here in the audience.
Maybe.
It's possible. Mike, what should the audience take away? We got an audience of product designers. Should everyone run back and say, let's convert our design process to open source, or what would be the right lesson to take away?
Well, I can't say that it's for everybody, and I can't say that there aren't any growing pains associated with going from being kind of an engineer locked in a room with no windows and keypad entries, only releasing your designs once you feel that they're perfect, to being fully open source with everything that you do. But once you do that, you'll notice that, like we have, you smash that wall down in between design and engineering that we feel typically exists in a lot of places, not just in automotive manufacturing today. And when you do that, you'll realize that community development means better designs faster. You've got all this input from, again, the three key players in the game, the transportation designers, the engineers, and the enthusiasts, so that you make sure that you're moving down that path every step of the way, making something that people want to buy, and it's something that's manufacturable.
So the message sounds like, think about open source. Think if there's even small steps you can take to open up some of your product development process and maybe have a better process and a better product.
Yep,
and that sounds like great advice to take away. Thanks for that, Mike.
No problem.
And well, I can't thank you enough for taking the time and out of your busy schedule building cars to get over here and share the story with us. Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you very much. And, yeah, just a reminder to everybody again, go on to local-motors.com, upload your portfolio of work that you've maybe been kind of tucking away, saving for a while, and also critique some of the other designs that are out there.
Thanks, Mike. I'm sure some of these people will. Some of the users will do that. Thank you.